Buenos dias, mi gente. So today we're gonna be working on the 1965 GMC 3/4 ton. Got the carburetor in. We're gonna be changing that out. So there's the old carburetor, manual choke. There's the new one. So we're gonna get this removed. We're gonna take off those two bolts right there. And we're gonna disconnect the vacuum line and the gas line, okay? Let's get it swapped out. Once again, we're gonna get this line off. There we go. Little bugger was on there pretty good. Okay. I'm still gonna use my vice grips to clamp that line down. Don't need any fuel splattering anywhere. Okay. So now that that's off, we're gonna start taking the gas line inlet off where the filter goes. Take off this line. In order to get that nut off right there, you're gonna need your 11 millimeter. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that off. You're gonna get it on there, and then you're gonna counterclockwise. Once it's loose, should be able to come in with your hand and undo that. Okay. Be very careful. These lines are very old. This is a 60s style truck. Bam, just like that. Okay. Move the line out of the way. Okay. Next, we're gonna disconnect the throttle body line or throttle body cable. As you can see, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory. We're gonna loosen this. Make sure you don't lose your nuts and bolts, okay? This gets loosened up. Then we're gonna slip this line out, okay? It's kind of wacky in here. Let's see, get a little better shot. Okay, there's some bends on it, so you gotta pretty much work it out of there. Okay, as you can see, I'm trying to work this out with one hand while I'm recording. I tend to be a pain in the butt, but anyway, there you go. So that's off. Okay, we're gonna just set that to the side right there, and then usually you can unclip it from right here. There's a clip you just lift up. Should be able to lift up, yep. Just like that, see that clip? It's a locking clip, old school. But usually you can take that off from right there. But unfortunately, I don't need to take it off from right there. I need to come right here and disconnect this bolt, okay? And you don't wanna lose that little bolt. But once you take that off, slip this back, okay? And then we'll be working onto the bolts to take the carburetor off. Okay. So once again, in order to get the throttle body right here taken off, was an 11 millimeter wrench. Okay. So I used an 11 to get that nut off. Now that we pulled this back, okay, all the throttle body or throttle line should be disconnected, as you can see. So now we're gonna move on to those two bolts that are holding the actual carburetor down. Let's go. And that will be a 14 millimeter. old carburetor off. Okay, so now we're gonna clean up around there a little bit, and we're gonna get the new one put on. So next I'm gonna need to take off this fuel line right here, 13 millimeter or a half. Okay? As soon as we get that off, we'll get that switched onto the new carburetor. Okay, so one thing I wanted to share with you guys, I didn't think the new one was gonna come with the spring and the filter. Now the spring comes inside right here, okay, and then we have the filter that sets in. Now I thought I would have to take the old one out to put it in the new one, but it looks like the new one comes with a filter and a spring already in the kit, and then you wash it. So the only other thing that I need to take off, if you can see down there, is the import, I want to say the vacuum line. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to take that screw off as well, and I want to say that's going to either be a 12 millimeter or a 13. So let me get those off, and let me get the filters put back in. Okay, so we're going to take this fitting off. It's actually an 11 millimeter also. So let's get this off. Okay? So put on the new carburetor. Okay, so just a quick little tip, you guys. Make sure that you leave that outside bolt loose, because it's such a tight fit over here. I don't know if you can see, but it's such a tight fit to get that other nut on. Okay, now you gotta leave a little bit of play so you can screw that nut, that inner side nut in, because it's hitting. Okay, so clear shot right there. See the bolt my fingers are on? So now I'm twisting it on, okay? So, got the fuel line on, the vacuum line on, PVC line on, okay, carburetor's on. So now all there is to do is make sure that the battery has charged, okay, and probably check my oil and see if she'll fire up. So, on to the next step. Look at that, you guys. Brand new carburetor. Holding its idle now. Well, Tiffany got a new carburetor. Look at that idle, man. Lovely. I took her for a spin. I gotta bleed my brakes and change fluids. But man, she's staying on. And I'm very, very happy and impressed. So now it's time to just little by little.